Over the course of 3 emotionally charged weeks in General Hospital, tensions rise, relationships evolve, and secrets once buried begin to surface with explosive consequences. As Port Charles braces for fireworks, both literal and emotional, several characters find themselves at the crossroads of love, betrayal, and reckoning. Among them, Drew Kane finds himself slipping from grace, Cody Bell risks everything with a dangerous seduction, and Lulu Spencer's quiet return to the fold may upend more than just her own heart. As the week beginning June 16 dawns, an unexpected sense of calm sets the stage for what's to come. Lulu Spencer, still readjusting to her life after waking from her coma, receives a surprising jolt of hope. Whispers in the air suggest that Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase have reconciled following Chase's stint behind bars. For Lulu, the news opens a door she thought had been forever closed. Despite the silence and strain that's existed between her and Dante, there remains a tether, one strong enough that she finds herself reconsidering everything she's tried to bury. But just as she begins entertaining thoughts of reconciliation, she crosses paths with Isaiah Gannon, and a single drink turns into a night of laughter, vulnerability, and unforeseen emotional connection. Isaiah, who's drifted through various potential romantic alignments, may finally have found a spark worth exploring in Lulu, though that will carry implications far beyond a casual flirtation. Isaiah's romantic past with Jordan Ashford lingers like smoke after a fire. Though Jordan stepped back due to the fallout of Sidwell's manipulations, her unresolved feelings make her increasingly uneasy as Isaiah spends more time with Lulu. Meanwhile, Jordan has been steadily pulled back toward Curtis Ashford, who finds himself emotionally adrift in the wake of his estrangement from Portia Robinson. Their old rhythm, once thought long gone, begins to resurface during quiet conversations and shared frustrations. And though neither is willing to admit it, a door may be reopening that neither of them anticipated. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Michael Corinthus finds himself staring down a tidal wave of familial entanglements. Sasha Gilmore Corbin, trying to balance her own fragile recovery, seeks closure and clarity with Michael. Their honest conversation opens up a new chapter, one in which Michael begins to envision a real, active role in the life of young Daisy, a child whose future has become the center of a quiet storm. But not everyone welcomes these shifts. Willow Tate, trapped in her own spiral of decisions and consequences, faces a reckoning. A public choice looms, whether to disentangle herself from Drew Kane for good and regain custody of her children, or cling to a relationship that seems to be corroding from the inside out. And what a dark corrosion it turns out to be. As the week of June 23 arrives, a shocking revelation begins to spread in hushed whispers and courtroom innuendo. Judge Eva Haran may have been blackmailed into granting Michael full custody. The whispers soon gain weight, and suspicion spreads rapidly. Questions arise about who orchestrated this manipulation. Was it a desperate act of love by Tracy Quartermain or the calculated machination of someone else entirely? Regardless, Michael's victory could transform into a scandal of ruinous proportions, leaving the integrity of the court and Michael's own conscience in the balance. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself colliding with chaos in the form of Emma Scorpio Drake. What starts as a minor rivalry escalates into a full-blown clash of wills, leaving Jocelyn emotionally exposed but curiously open to new possibilities. Vaughn, a man walking the thin line between professionalism and intimacy, becomes an unexpected anchor. Their flirtation, once playful, begins to deepen into something neither had quite prepared for. But love in Port Charles is never simple, and Jocelyn must decide if Vaughn is a passing spark or something far more dangerous, especially if their business ties come under scrutiny. As July 4th nears and fireworks light the sky, passions ignite with them. Emma, ever the enigma, finds herself drawn to two vastly different men. Her chemistry with Giovanni Gio Palmieri crackles with a youthful urgency, but there's an undercurrent of something darker brewing beneath the surface. Her clandestine flirtation with Professor Henry Hank Dalton raises alarm bells, not just for its ethical implications, but for the subtle manipulations at play. Is Emma testing the limits of her power, or is she spiraling toward a collision with consequences she doesn't yet comprehend? Cody Bell, meanwhile, is skating dangerously close to disaster. His flirtation with Ava Jerome, initially a calculated move encouraged by Christina Corinthus Davis, begins to lose its strategic clarity. Cody's seduction of Ava was supposed to be just another mission, but what he didn't account for was the intensity of their chemistry. Ava, equal parts vulnerable and ruthless, is not a woman to be toyed with, and when she learns that Christina orchestrated this entire deception, her fury will know no bounds. The question is whether Cody is in too deep to escape the blowback, or whether his own emotions have compromised his game beyond repair. Back in the shadows, Drew Kane continues to slip deeper into moral ambiguity. Once a man of integrity, Drew has become increasingly erratic, and the revelation about Judge Haran's coercion only fuels his descent. Instead of distancing himself from the scheme, Drew finds himself enraged, not at the injustice, but at the exposure. His need to control every outcome, to hold power even in personal affairs, begins to unravel into outright obsession. The facade of respectability he's so carefully maintained begins to fracture, and when the truth inevitably reaches the public, Drew will find himself isolated, disgraced, and forced to confront the monster he's become. As secrets rise to the surface and romantic lines blur, the citizens of Port Charles brace themselves for a summer of reckoning. From courtroom conspiracies and romantic betrayals to emotional awakenings and dangerous liaisons, the next 3 weeks will mark a turning point for many of the town's most beloved, and most feared, players. The question isn't whether lives will change, but who will survive the fallout intact. Because in Port Charles, love may be powerful, but secrets are deadly.